Tell us about how your deal came about with Bad Boy.
I was doing music in L.A. I lived in L.A. Studio was on Hollywood and Cahuenga. And I used to just go to the studio and work all the time. After I left Atlanta, we went to Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And I was working out there. And then one of Puff's friends that happened to be, it was my friend at the time too, he let Puff hear my music. And one day he called me about 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning. You know, Puff is weird like that. He calls weird hours. He called me about 2, 3 in the morning and said, "Playboy, I want to sign you to the label." I said, "Who?" I said, he said, "Yeah, tomorrow I'll fly you out, you know, and then we can catch up, and then I'm gonna be going." So I flew to New York. Okay, he want to sign me. He said, and then we getting ready to go on tour. At the time, they were on the No Way Out tour. He said, "I want to take you out on tour so you can come see what the life is like." I said, "Okay." So me and my guy, my producer that I took to L.A. with me from Atlanta, we went out. We went on a tour. So we on the tour, and so we like, yo, we need to make some money. How we gonna make some money? So then he'll be like, "Playboy, I got these tickets. These the tickets." Like he'll go and buy the tickets from Ticketmaster, buy the tickets, and then give them to me. And then I'm gonna go out there in front of the stadium before the concert and try to sell the tickets for a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And then the ones that I didn't sell, I give it back to him. He trade them into Ticketmaster, they give him his money back. So I was like, man, and I was making $5 a ticket. I said, man, I don't want $5.
What do you mean you were only making $5 a ticket?
So if the ticket was $100 and he paid $100 for a ticket, if I sold the ticket for $150, I would make like $5, something.
So you
small.
Gave him an extra 45?
That's what he was doing. That's what so many artists were doing this. It's when you having a concert.
No,
you have a concert.
I get it.
You get it?
I'm just thinking like, but Pup, that was the split.
That
going out there standing out front of
the
venue.
Yeah.
And 150, you just got $5.
Yeah, that's why I stopped that one quick.
Yeah.
I quit that one soon. I said, yo, I came back. I said, look, man, I don't think selling tickets is for me.
Did it give you any indication on what the type of deals he might like to do? Did that tell you like, okay, this is how it's going to be working with him?
It didn't really do that. What it did was make me say, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And then I said, I'm going to have something else to sell. Mm-hmm. So then they gave me the backstage passes. He said, I got these back. Now I can make, I was selling them for $500 a piece. So I have like 5 of them when we first get to some place. I know I'm going to make $2,000 real quick. I sell them tickets. Then all of a sudden, when we used to get off the stage, it was so many different faces that was in the dressing room. He was like, where are all these people coming from? I was like, passes. Yeah. So
okay,
they took the passes from me.
No more for Mark.
Passes.
Wow.
No more passes.
And so that was where you were making the bulk of the money outside of anything else, obviously, right?
Puffy wasn't even the rich guy he was back then. Remember, in 1995 or so, he just really was getting put on in 1995. Mm-hmm. So 93, 90, all of that, 89 and all of that. He wasn't someone that you'd be like, oh my God, this Puff. Mm-hmm. You know, and
he wasn't a billionaire.
He wasn't even like a powerful mogul to me at then. He was just somebody. You know, same thing. Well, you know, you had Dallas and them. You be like, well, Dallas and them is my friend. Yeah. And they big, just as big as him. Jermaine Dupri's just as big as him. Yeah. You know, so you would never look at him and be like, wow, Puff. You'd be like, wow, Jermaine.
Yeah.
You know, wow, Dallas.
You
wow,
would think
Divine.
that of Jermaine at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I want to jump into one of the segments here that is very key and important. It's called Truth and Taste, right? Mm-hmm. And so we like to break bread with our family here on the Culture Club, and I want to let you get into this meal, if you don't mind.
My, I smell it.
Yeah. Like, why don't you go ahead and take the top off of that, Mark? Let's make sure.
Oh, that's a pizza.
Yeah, now that's a Chicago-style deep dish pizza.
Right.
Okay, and I know you from up top, and typically a New York slice is obviously, that's a big slice, and it's a great pizza.
It looks good. Saying?
So I want you to, you know, because now listen, it's all veggie, just so you know.
Right.
Okay.
All
just want to make sure you know what I'm saying.
That's right.
I know you don't eat pork, right? But you know, let's let you get into that real quick, and then tell me about your Chicago experience. Obviously, you and Carl Thomas He's from Chicago. And what has your experience been like traveling through that city? Is that one of the places? Yeah.
It was a guy we used to know out of Chicago. It was an old head. I can't remember his name. Chicago was a very different place because it was a lot of go-getters. It's real, like, you know, the gangsters came from Chicago.
Real time.
So I got to meet a whole bunch of gangsters from Chicago and Detroit. It was Chicago, Detroit, Midwest. So it was learning the different culture, especially when it came to hip-hop in Chicago, like in Detroit. Like, Detroit didn't have a style of rap. They might have had Royce the 5'9". There wasn't no Eminem. It was Trick. It was a different style of music. And, you know, Detroit was like a place, and same thing with Chicago. You'd be like, I wonder what kind of style of music are they going to come up with? Because Atlanta, Georgia had the South. We had the South. We had West Coast music. And then we had New York music. But you didn't really hear or see too many artists coming out of the Midwest.
Yeah. Interesting. I know you see your boy Greg with the Rim Shop. He's from Detroit.
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah. Tell us that's Nancy's Pizza. Shout out to them, man. What is it? It's good?
Very. Nancy's.
Okay. Yeah.
Where's this at? I think everybody should go get a piece of this.
Yeah, Nancy's Pizza, man. They got a few locations in the Chicago style. Shout out to the Shy, man, as well, man.
Excuse me, I'm going to have to do twice.
Yeah, do your thing, man. But, you know, just understanding what that was in the Midwest is kind of interesting because it's learning. I mean, did you ever come across R. Kelly out there?
No R. Kelly.
Okay.
No R. Kelly.
And you didn't hang out with Carl Thomas in his city at that time, did you?
New York.
Wow.
Never hung out with him in Chicago. When I went to Chicago, I was hanging out with gangsters. It was a different walk.
Right.
It's one thing about the industry people don't understand is the music industry is not just music. The music industry is in the street, so it's kind of like a fast life.
Right.
It's money, cars, jewelry, women, and drugs. You know, they say, you know how they say sex, drugs, and rock and roll?
Yes.
That was a slogan that they was saying for so long, but you never heard them say sex, drugs, and hip-hop. So as soon as we started mixing hip-hop with sex and drugs, now we're wrong. You know, and they started coming up. It's like when we say Freaknik, we having Freaknik, but then they'll want to, for an example, what's going on now with, they saying Puffy's having parties and things in his house. And before we labeled it Freaknik, maybe he's just, what's the difference in what we were doing and what he's doing?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I condoning any of his actions or whatever, because he's not guilty of anything right now until they find him guilty. So what was he doing that was so wrong with partying at his house?
And that's an interesting point, you know, Mark, because I realized that when we talk about Freaknik and we talk about just wild, crazy parties, you know, you sometimes find that there are women who have a very strong appetite and they enjoy maybe some of that energy.